What up with it, y'all? It's Coffee tapping back in, man. And before we get to the ongoing just exposure of Adam22 on another level, his flucked up ways, just his true nature, like so much ish about internet personalities gets put out there, and sometimes individuals like Adam22 or Vladimir or other cats will be like, yo, listen, that's just gimmicks, that's just this or that. And for some individuals maybe it is that way, but for Adam it's really on full-blown display that he's just a foul son of a bitch. We'll get right to that, but before we do, I wanted to share this with y'all. I found this rather intriguing. This is shared by Master P. He has the independent rappers Mount Rushmore. You see, it's Dolph, E40, Master P, and also R.I.P. to Dolph, the late great Young Dolph, and the late great Nipsey Hussle. And you see the caption reads, "Independent rappers Mount Rushmore. In salute to Devo Media, repost, being independent is a choice. You have more control out your career, business, and future." And then, he tags Master P, himself, E40, Nip, Young Dolph, and the others that not mentioned who opened doors and paved the way. Kings of independent music, Mount Rushmore. So, Master P, I'm not saying he don't get love, but it's wild, like, since we're in this blogosphere era, it's like P gets looked over at times, you know what I mean? Like, there was some years back, Wack100, who we're gonna talk about some fluckery with this Adam22 momentarily, like I was telling y'all. We'll get right to that. But there was some while back where he was trying to diss the fluck out of Master P and say P was a bum. What does he really own? He doesn't own anything. He bows down to JEWS and all this ish, like, Wack just doing his typical shtick. And this is a while back. This is like 2018, 19, somewhere in that time frame. And it was like he came out of nowhere dissing Master P. And Master P, I think, set the blueprint for a lot of these cats out here. That's just blasphemous in many ways to me for P to be dissed by Wack. Let me know if y'all agree with it. And R.I.P. Dolph, Nip, and let me know who you think should be on here independent wise that isn't, or your thoughts of those that are on here. Like, let's just get that whole discussion going about independent artists and such. Tap in. But getting to this whole situation, Adam22 just showing his true colors. I was watching what I think is, at this point, everyone's favorite way to watch No Jumper, and people are leaving that right in the comments. They're saying like, yo, the only way I keep up on No Jumper anymore is by point and shoot. As you see all the comments pouring in, I saw one from Brandon Buckingham. He said, class some Adam22 behavior. What a bad guy to be friends with. This is in regards to Brick Baby. Adam22 ishing all over Brick Baby, cutting ties with him, trying to reignite beef with Sharp. I'm sorry, I ain't gonna sit here and rehash out everything that Point and Shoot put out there. He does great content. I'm a big fan. But there was one particular thing in this video that really caught my eyes, aside from, too, like I said, the way people are pointing right out, right? Like, at this point, dude says, I use Point and Shoot to keep up with everything No Jumper related. Like, that's just facts. He's beating Adam22 at his own game, and Adam hates it so much. I don't know if y'all seen that. That was something that Point and Shoot covered. Adam and Vlad getting together, crying about fair use. But it's okay if they use it. Vlad not so much, don't really use it, but Adam will roll clips on his platform, you know what I mean? And he's trying to get in on, he's acting like there's going to be some big class action lawsuit or something. I don't know. I hate crybaby bitches. It reminds me of this snitch clown. I don't even know if he got the Jerry curl anymore. Goofy rapper that just was on No Jumper again. Like, just goof troop stuff, crying about stuff, but then wants to react to people's stuff. Like, it's lame. And would someone say plot twist? Adam is asking for engagement. He knows people will hate that he's turning his back on Brick, leading to comments and engagement. Adam has no issue with being the villain. That's a fact. He don't care if it's people busting down his wife or whatever. Like someone else said, Adam is Leonardo DiCaprio in Django. And you know, someone else too, he turned his back on Brick like loyalty was a rental. And we've seen it time and time again. Adam22 isn't loyal to anybody, even his wife, only himself. It's almost on a demonic level. And you know, I want to know everyone's thoughts on all that and the way he's ishing on Brick Baby. You know, like he really had Brick tap more into the gang content and all that, only to sit here now and turn his back when he's got the Fed case. And as Shu pointed out, this dude's still getting a lot of paper off talking about Brick Baby. And I mean, that's the way the internet goes. Anyone can talk about anything, but let's not act like Brick could have, you know, said, hey, let me not really tap into the streets too hard body on your platform. But he did. Adam kind of pushed him to in a career move type way or whatever, you know. It all is what it is. And you know, Brick, at the end of the day, even though Adam's a sack of ish, he still could have said, yo, let me fall back from doing that. But and I want to know everyone's thoughts on it all. Like, I think it's foul. I'm not saying he has to sit here and pay Brick Baby's legal fees and all that, but to just totally turn your back on Brick Baby and to hop on here and throw out $5,000 that I guess he loaned them before for a bail or something like that. You know, trying to sit here and just talk all kinds of crazy way in which he never would to his face and just be wild disrespectful and all that is really something else, you know. But it doesn't shock me. Adam has done this over and over, you know. Good thing Russ, I was pointing that out in a recent video, like, W forever for Russ for having his mans run down on and beat the brakes out of Adam22. But something that was, you know, pointed out in his video, that he kind of, you know, just quickly tapped in on, that I just wanted to kind of talk a little more with y'all about, was this whole thing where he mentioned Brick Baby having a strap on that piece of content with loose cannon, and you know, he acted as if he was like mad at Brick for doing that or whatever. But you know, Point Shoot was like, but look at Wack100 and you'll see the different footage rolling. It's okay when he did it, you know, when he fake hold me back, I'm a tough guy, trying to get at Poetic Flacco. But it was like, yo, where was that tough guy ish that day at the Games Drillmatic album release party when you was with Kanye West and what's dude's name, Tiny Draws or whatever, slapped the ish out of you? And it's all covered in the indictment too. It's straight comedy. The fact that Wack100 still tries to sit here and lie about it like everyone's stupid or play semantics. It's like, Wack, you're a cold bitch. No one really respects you. That's why he has this 100 ENT media team minions that he needs to stroke his ego, you know. And no disrespect to them, they're doing what they do or whatever, but Wack needs people that he can manipulate and can lie to, you know. And that's something we're going to get into in another video. There's whole other plots going down with Wack100 right now, where his just goofy lying cornball ways, like, Wack is such a goofball, lame Jane, lying, crater face goofy. Like, Adam22 looks like a real one compared to Wack. And that's not even just a joke or I'm clowning. It's actually true. That's how Wack, when you add it all up and you do the formulaic equations and, you know, like what these individuals, who they are, what their image is, what kind of line they try and push and all that, Wack being this big bad piru that like is afraid to really go to his own hood unless the couple individuals that he's paying their way or putting money in their pocket or something like that, there's other people he's straight hiding from and has been from for the longest time. Billy Joel voice, this got exposed once again back in 2017, 2018. The Doc Hicks interview, go check all that out back in that time frame. Like, Wack exposed himself with all the charades and clownery and tomfoolery back then, you know. So that's like why Adam would be more real than Wack. Like, they're both ain't ish, but like the fact of what Wack is supposed to be and all that, all the gang ish, is what makes him even cornier. Like, we almost expect that out of Adam22, you know. But they're, in a lot of ways, they're the same guy, just out of different worlds. It's why they collab together so well, you know what I mean? And it's so funny too, back on that Hassan Campbell leaked audio, we heard him talking about, oh yeah, that white boy, I'm all up in there, I control that building and all that, you know. It's the same way what happened on the Doc Hicks interview that I keep referencing, except, you know, back then he just started doing interviews and tapping into the content world, and he didn't realize, like, he was running his mouth a bit too much, and he tried to blame that one on Doc Hicks, like, oh, that part wasn't supposed to be in an interview. But like, yo, that ain't gonna work, you full-blown fucking liar, man, clown ass. But you know, comment with your thoughts about all this, everything that I was just speaking on. But the fact that, not just that, you know, Adam was mad at Brick for having a strap on him, but not Wack, and Wack straight almost trying to brandish it when he's running up on Poetic Flacco. With all this indictment ish going down, and with everything that we've seen with the Big U situation, and Wack literally being like a victim of sorts in that indictment, like, and then going back to the CS2 back stuff, and in that case back then with the Main Street Mafia, Crips, and other individuals, and just everything going on, like, to me, and then his real great rapport with Greg Kading and other law enforcement entities and individuals, like, to me, it's so clear that he's an agent, you know. Like, why is everyone in this time where things keep going down, and like, the feds are flipping things any kind of way to throw indictments at everyone? Can Wack100 continue to threaten people's families, their mothers? I heard him rate this one individual that I rock with, and I haven't heard from a minute. He was a content creator that I thought was cool, and I wanted to see win out here. He was behind the wall, and Wack was on there talking about he's gonna pay a Mexican, a Southsider, to shank dude in the yard and fluck off his date and all that. Like, he just does all this and then openly runs at Flacco, trying to brandish a pistol in this indictment era. It just, like, he's either straight up COINTELPRO, some kind of federal informant, something. Like, it just has to be. There's just no other type way you can spin this to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of what I wanted to dive into a little deeper, and pick everyone's brain out there about this, aside from our talk about the independent rapper Mount Rushmore. Like I said, I'm been tapped out of the blogosphere a few days, and, you know, I get on here and I see CS2 back in the midst of this great piece of content, once again, Point and Shoot put out, and I'm like, what? Like, you know, how is this? How is Wack even trying to spin this anymore? You know what I mean? But he's still out here, not just trying to act like he's that dude and a tough guy. Like we're all stupid, and I just ain't smelling what this clown is selling. Pause. Like, he's just lame, and I don't know, I ain't buying it, man. So with all that being said, hit the comments, let me know what you think about this all. Once again, the independent rapper Mount Rushmore, Brick Baby, his situation away, Adam22 is doing them, and all this stuff with Wack, like, seemingly having to be the feds. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Like, let's discuss it all. As always, that's what it's all about over here. It's happening with y'all, the people. We just coffee talk it up. So thanks for watching. Let's talk, subscribe, and I'm up out of here, guys. Peace.